All right.
Welcome to this week's Whole Wheat Costa.
I thought it was still a test. Sorry.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight, in a minute, we'll be talking about the movie we watched this week for our AFI. It's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, starring Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, and Sidney Poitier. But tonight, first, we're going to talk about the beer table. We have Dogfish Head Super 8. It has, Kev, beer facts.
From the Dogfish Head website, insert Super 8, the beer. This sessionable Super Ghost is brewed with 8 heroic ingredients: prickly pear, mango, boysenberry, blackberry, raspberry, elderberry, kiwi juices, toasted quinoa, and an ample addition of red Hawaiian sea salt.
It is definitely the reddest beer we've ever had.
Hawaiian for the movie, where they said Hawaii all the time. All the fucking time with the Hawaii.
Well, I think there was 50. There's 50 stars on that flag.
It says, okay, so technically that's 9, but it ghosts without saying that there's going to be salt.
Yeah. So the Super 8 beer is it's like let's hear the crack.
Wait, I can't get it.
Ooh, that's a good crack.
Nice.
But the beer is supposed to be, if you were stranded on the desert island and only had one thing,
And
you could
Hawaii.
survive. You could survive off this beer. It has like vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. It's sour and delicious, and it's super red.
It is sour, but I like it.
Yeah, I like ghosts are pretty delicious. So Friday night I went to a concert. There's my signed poster. Look, feel that quality paper.
Hang on, my hands are wet.
Oh, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's nice
so I got that. I want to frame it up, but it's so I go there, right, and but before that, we have to pay for all this stuff, and like we paint our deck and all this other stuff. So we're like, like tight on funds. And have you ever heard of the Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Now it's now they call it Dead and Company.
Casey Jones.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's the one song you know.
Yeah.
But so the Grateful Dead was my dad's favorite band.
Yeah.
So they're coming around, and like last year I went to see a concert with Rachel, and there was these people. The night before that concert was Dead and Company. It's three of the original members. One guy doesn't like the rest of the band anymore after 50 years of touring, and John Mayer and like 2 other guys. So like John Mayer's taking up like the Jerry Garcia spot.
The other original guy is dead. He's the dead in Dead and Company.
Yeah, Jerry Garcia is dead.
Yeah, he's
And
the
then-
dead.
Yeah. So
Everybody else is the company.
yeah. So I'm like, so last year, like anybody I talked to like loved the show, and I started reading reviews for this year's like tour, and it's like American masterpiece, greatest show, can't miss it. So Thursday night, this Thursday, probably when this is released, we spent $134 on lawn tickets to see Dead and Company. Like they're $49 a piece for the lawn
killing it.
tickets. But then there's all the fees and everything, and you're like, Jesus Christ, so after spending all the money like on our deck and spending this and putting money away for a shed, we decided to spend $134 on concert tickets because
Fine.
they'll all probably die in the next 5 years. They're all in their 70s, so
Yeah, well, and then they'll be, I guess, will they add extra deads in the title?
now. How was your Father's Day?
It was fine. It was actually pretty good. So I didn't work. I worked on Saturday, didn't work on Sunday. And then so I don't know. We kind of had tentative plans for Sunday, but then me and Allie played Minecraft for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. She like a couple years ago said about wanting to play Minecraft, but she really couldn't use the computer that well then. And then she was playing this game. I think it was something in that Roblox game. That was like essentially building like in Minecraft. So I was like, oh, we should really play Minecraft. So I downloaded it Saturday night, and then I was trying to figure out how to like connect the 2 computers to play it, which involved like just disabling all of your internet security. So I was
An
rolling.
Ethernet cable at all, or no?
No, I mean because they're on the same home network, so it should be easy. But for some reason, like I don't know, you have to disable everything on your fucking computer.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
How great was it that you didn't have to deal with anything else? You just played Minecraft for 6 hours. Like it was just mindless. Like you didn't have to drive people anywhere. You didn't have to go to this like thing or anything?
Yeah.
Like, how great was that?
It was pretty great, but I'm so wound up from doing that stuff all the time that then I like at certain points of the day I was like, oh, we should do something. Like, we got to do something. Like,
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I'm like, yeah, Ray, we'll just sit on the couch for 8 hours and then like 4 hours, and I'm like, let's go to the bank.
Yeah.
You know, like anything sounds better.
But then like I don't know, after like 6 hours, then I was like, and then I was basically like, I can't play anymore. But like so, so it was like my it was a server on my computer though, so like I couldn't disconnect. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stand in the house in the game, and you just keep playing or whatever. And then every 5 minutes she'd be like, Kevin, I need more planks. I don't have any planks. Can you come give me some planks? And I had to walk over and like walk to her house in the game, give her planks, walk back. And then she's like, oh, I don't have any sticks. I'm like, just go chop down a tree. She's like, it's dark out. There's zombies. I'm like, just go chop down a tree when it's daylight out. Like, it's fine.
Just sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, you're one of the busiest guys, like, I know.
Yeah.
So, like that, even though, like, you're wound up and everything, like, oh, I got to do this or whatever, like, it is good. Like, it's a good reset. Like, oh, I just spent 6 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. I try to intentionally, do things with Allison too, because like when we have Sam, we're real busy on those weekends. So, and then there's some days it's just me and Sam, but it's never really just me and Allison. So,
Oh, that's good.
but yeah, so this movie here.
Yeah. All right. Guess who's coming to dinner?
Yeah.
Uh,
That was good. I liked your introduction. That was good.
yeah. So we're getting better at everything.
Yeah.
But
So I wish I knew some more. I mean, I wish I knew some formal film criticism, because I feel like there's and that's hopefully the journey you guys will go on with us is as we get a little more sophisticated talking about this stuff as we go. But because I kind of felt like you could look at this from multiple angles. I mean, obviously it's a movie about race, but I felt like there were so many confounding factors that I kind of forgot about the racism part of it. Like, because there were so many other wheels in play. Like, I feel like, so there's one scene in the movie that I thought was really stupid. And me and JD, we'll get to it. Me and JD were texting around. We were watching around the same time. So I texted him. And then when he got to that party, he had a good idea of why that scene was meaningful. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I mean, this, on one hand, is about race relations. On one hand, can be a generational thing. Like, the younger generations had a pretty different view than the older generations in this movie. So it could have been some, critique on the older generation at that point. And you can really spin this to be a very, even though, I think at least nowadays, the way the world is, the Republican Party, unfortunately, is associated with someone who's probably a racist. You could really spin this movie as a pretty pro-conservative movie in a way, because it really, in some ways, points out the hypocrisy of these super liberal people. So I think you could like really analyze this movie and make a pretty strong argument that it's saying a few very different things.
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you, but I think it's the hypocrisy of really anybody like that's like so pro something.
Yeah.
But you're like there's pro people, like there's parents out there like I support LGBT community.
Unless my kid's gay.
Yeah, unless like what you, how dare you, like, you know what I mean? Like, I support this unless it happens to me.
Yeah.
So it really does. So we'll get back to it, but there's one thing like I really took away from that movie is like the father.
Yeah.
So the father was like,
hypocrite liberal, i.e. typical liberal.
Yeah. I guess I'm not a liberal, but I'm a, what am I?
I think we're both libertarians. Like, I think
libertarian. Yeah, there we go.
Like I think for me, and I think you're similar. Like we like government to not be involved in our lives, which also extends to we don't care who people sleep with or what color they are or any bullshit like that.
Right.
So
unless it happens to me. Yeah, but the dad, like the white dad, because the black dad's like, I don't get it either. But the white dad, Spencer Tracy, also his last film, because he died right after the film.
Oh.
Which is sad. Just like George M. Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
Died right after that film.
Yeah.
But I think the same age too, like 67 or something like that.
And Sam Harris.
Yeah.
Died around the same.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's like the dad makes the points that I still hear today.
Mm.
You're dating you're gonna marry a black man. It's a white girl and a black man, so it's a mixed couple. So it's a mixed couple. Like, what are people gonna think? And then he says, like, what about the children? Like I still hear things like, oh, you're in a mixed race. They're gonna. He basically said they're gonna beat your heads in.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, what are people gonna think? Like these children, your children are not gonna know where they fall, black or white. Like he said that, you know, they're not black and they're not white enough. Like they're both ostracized from both communities, and he says that. And in 2019, 52 years, 52 years later,
I'm not the math guy.
52 years later, it's still a thing.
Yeah, same issues.
Yeah, it's still the same. People were still talking. Like my dad used to talk about that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's you know what I mean? Where did the children fall? Like that's his big thing.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's where it was a nice, honest movie in a way, because, you know, why I say about how the dad was a hypocrite. I mean, he really, you know, he was in a way, and we'll talk about that more. But I mean, in his heart of hearts, I really don't think he had any issue. I don't think he really had any particular racist issues.
He was protecting his daughter.
Yeah.
Because, like, she is going to get backlash, and she's super naive.
Yeah. Yeah, he just felt like, that. I mean, it wasn't that he really was racist, like where, you know, in public he said all this stuff, and then in private he was saying had all these racist thoughts, all these racist things. He just didn't know how to deal with the particular situation. But I think that's part of the issue with the movie is there's so many confounding factors besides racism. Like if it was like I mean, this would ruin the point of the movie, but if it was a white guy in the same exact scenario, it still would have been fucking stupid for them to get married because they just met 10 days ago. Like there's no reason they need to get married next week.
But here's the thing, they make the black guy such an outstanding man.
Yeah.
Where like if this was true and like, you know, if it didn't ruin the point of the movie. Like I could come over like, oh, Dad, Jim's a construction worker. He'd be like, why are you guys getting married after 10 days? This is ridiculous. Yeah. But if a white man had the same qualifications, he'd be like, yeah, I'm really happy for you, but that's really stupid to get married. Maybe.
I don't know. It's just hard to tell. It's like, so if you look at it like it's like a science experiment, you can't really generalize, and I'm not entirely sure what conclusions this movie wants us to take from it, but you can't generalize those conclusions because it's a super wealthy white family, and then a essentially famous black man that's super accomplished, and I don't think you can extrapolate like people's feelings about them to other things. Like it wasn't a middle class white family and like a regular middle class black guy. Right. That would have been very different.
They were all extraordinary people.
Yeah.
Like the parents. So they basically,
except for Joanna, who's a fucking dope.
Yeah. They basically, I think I'm using the word right, juxtapose like this very accomplished white family with like a very like lower middle class black family. But then the son is like, he says it himself, like, how's a mailman have a child like this? That's crazy.
The son's like the best of all.
Yeah, and so it's like it's kind of crazy. But then you talk about like the hypocrisy of the mom. Well, I don't think it's really a hypocrite. Like she was just very shocked because she sees a black man come out and she's like, "Oh, what? Like you're dating?" And then she talks like then the next scene where they talk about it's like she basically tells the dad like, "We raised her to be liberal." Mm-hmm. Like, and now he's knocking on the door, like he's showing up, and we're like, well, I mean, she basically says, we raised her to be this way, and now that it happened, we're shocked. Like that's crazy. But also, we'll talk about later, her black maid helped raise her. So that's between her being liberal daughter, being raised liberal, and being raised by a black woman, I don't think she understands race. She's naive about how the world works, and he's not naive. He's like, look, we're gonna get ostracized and beat up for this.
Well, that's that made me think of. You see the movie Get Out?
Oh yeah.
It made me think about that a little bit because it's a similar dynamic where so it's a white woman and it's a black man, and she's from like a wealthy society. Really similar actually. She's from a wealthy society. He's not a famous doctor, but he's a famous photographer,
Right?
Or at least up and coming photographer. And she, I forget, was the girl in on it and Get Out?
Oh, the girl was in on it.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the honeypot because he finds the pictures of all her boyfriends and girlfriends.
Not to spoil Get Out, but
it's like 4 years old. It's okay.
But essentially, So I guess at least what we thought as audience members, I guess she really knew. She wasn't as naive as she appeared, but she appears very naive in the film, where she's like, where he is like, when I think a cop pulls him over. And he's basically like worried about it because I mean, obviously there's been issues in this country. We're not going to get into that, but issues in this country between like police and minorities.
Oh right, and you know what? One of the theories is she fights so hard not to see his ID because if the cop sees his ID and puts it into the system, there's a paper trail of him going to the house.
Okay, interesting. But at least what we think as audience members is that. He understands, not that he's racist or thinks everyone's racist, but he just understands that there are issues in this country and that, you have to prepare for the worst in some of those situations. Whereas she just totally didn't understand. And this is where I think,
the two movies, like you just 50 years apart. It's the same problem.
Same movie. But that's what, that's where I do think, some of the criticism as far as like men talking about abortion rights or like white people talking about race issues, which is why I really don't want to talk about this movie because we really don't know. We just don't. There's actually like a South Park episode about that. It's Stan Marsh goes on. It's Jeopardy, I guess. What's the one with the letters?
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, because of Wheel of Fortune. And it's like people that annoy you.
Yeah.
And it's missing one letter of, a racist word. Yeah. And he says the racist word and everyone's mad at him.
Yeah.
And Token,
and the word's naggers.
Yeah. And Token, who's, the token black kid in the story, is mad at Stan, at Randy Marsh's son. He's mad at Stan. And Stan keeps telling him I'm not racist, my dad's not racist, and Token's like you just don't get it. And the resolution is in the end, Stan says, I get it now. I don't get it. And that's what it is. Like we don't get it. We've never had to deal with any of the we've never really had to deal with racism. I mean everyone's discriminated against in certain ways, so for me, I'm a nurse practitioner. So when I'm at work, I command a certain level of respect, but then I just dress like a bum sometimes. And then sometimes I feel kind of funny going to certain places because I look like I'm not as well educated or whatever as I am, and then I feel a little weird about how people react to me sometimes. I could just dress better.
Yeah.
But that's the point. I could just dress better.
I could dress better too.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's the same situation.
Yeah.
And I understand what you get about the racism. But when I met Rachel and her parents, they have a shore house, they have a house, they have a boat, and they have a broken down boat, her dad's fixing up. You know what I mean? A couple years ago, 8 years ago, I slept in my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's it's she tells me all the time, you got to get your way out of these things. But I grew up poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand why you guys don't do certain things this way because this is a much cheaper, easier way. And they don't it's a tale of two worlds. It really is. So it's not the same problems, but that is the tale of two worlds. Joanna is from influential rich parents.
Yeah.
Now he is from middle class black parents, but he's rich and influential. You know what I mean? He's a very respectable person. And Joanna, who's a 23-year-old just graduated college student, she doesn't understand the world. he does.
Yeah. Well, just to go back to my point, I think you cut me off at a point where somebody might misunderstand what I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
My point was, I mean, that's just the way I dress. Like, I could change that versus like if you're a black person dealing with racism, you can't really change who you are. So my hypothetical example really does not make me understand racism in any way.
No. But you bring up a great point. So I can't think of his name. The Sidney Poitier's character.
Doctor. Yeah, John. What the fuck is
we'll
their
go
last
with
name?
Dr. John.
Yeah. Preston. John Preston.
Prentice.
Prentice.
John
Yes.
Prentice. So he dresses
Yeah.
in a suit and tie, and then when he takes a shower, he gets out and he puts on a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Which is what the father did. The white father did. Like he came home, he took off a suit and tie and put on like another tie.
Yeah.
Which, a good point.
Mm.
You should just dress better, and
Yeah.
people will respect you more.
Yeah. Well, true.
He dressed better.
Yeah. And
And-
people didn't respect him more.
Tilly,
Yeah.
who's their black housekeeper, maid or whatever, was like, "I know what you're doing. How dare you
Yeah.
try to dress above your status?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's the most racist of everyone in the house. Like she has this, this like, oh, we're black. Here's where we belong.
Mm.
You know, and it's not.
Well, I thought Tilly was a really interesting character because, I don't know, Joanna's like, I don't know, Joanna's like a fucking bitch to her. Like, I mean,
Well, she's an entitled brat.
yeah, she is. Like, I mean, your point about how her being around Tilly makes her, not see the color of stuff as much, but then
She doesn't treat her like an equal.
no, she doesn't treat her like equal at all. And I guess maybe it's just a class thing. Like maybe for, this is another way you can look at it. Maybe for Joanna, class is what's important, not color. But then again, we're back at, that there's just different levels, or there's different things to be prejudiced about, and everyone's a little bit hypocritical. Because even if we say Joanna's so naive and doesn't care about the race thing, doesn't understand the race thing, like, so the dad says about how prior to meeting this guy, she was like in love with like this guy that was a lawyer. So she's just a like gold digger basically. I mean, she I mean, not that that's her intention, but she will only date people in her class.
Oh, right. She would never date me.
Yeah.
She would date you.
Nah, probably not.
No.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't have child support.
Yeah.
She would definitely
Sure, yeah.
date you. Yeah. But like she would never date me.
Yeah.
But I think those are very, I don't know what this falls under, but I think it's like it's not coming of age, but maybe you could help me out when I explain it.
Yeah.
When Dr. Prentice is talking to his father, Mr. Prentice.
Yeah.
And like they're talking, they're arguing, they're yelling, and like he yells at his dad. His dad's like, "Look, we did everything for you. How dare you yell at me?" And he's like, "Look, Dad, you see yourself as an African American man, so you stay that. I see myself as a man."
Well, that's
And then like that
Yeah.
is like,
well, that's where I thought there could have been some race stuff. I mean, some generational stuff involved because so the scene I talked about earlier, I thought was really stupid, and I didn't understand what the point was.
what the
Delivery man.
the delivery man. He's
Yeah.
about 17.
Yeah.
Shows up.
Yeah, he shows up. He has he's delivering meat. So he's a meat van, and he shows up and he has like goofy like beatnik haircut, and then he has like crazy music on. And he dances out of the car and he goes up to the door and he's like, "Hey, I'm here delivering the meats."
Side note.
Yeah.
He was driving a 1966 Dodge van, which is a direct competitor with the Ford Econoline.
Huh. Nice.
Yeah, same front, had big headlights and everything. Sorry. Yeah, but he shows up.
Meat van fun facts.
Yeah, he shows up. He shows up, and Tilly has a helper. And the only reason Tilly has a helper is for this plot point.
Yeah.
She's a very attractive, younger black female, probably around the age, maybe a little older, of the meat delivery guy.
And the meat man's white.
Yeah.
So and he goes in and he's flirting with Tilly's helper, who I don't know. I don't know if she has a name in the movie.
I don't. Donna? Donna, I think.
Could be. So Meat Man flirts with Donna, and I was like, well, what the fuck was the point of that? And like that's like out of all the scenes in the movie, that was the first scene I texted JD about. And then JD was like, well, it shows that the younger generations don't care as much about race. And it's like, yeah, that's right. And then some of the other stuff that happened, I mean, when Joanna and John go out with her two friends, like they don't seem to
They don't care
that
about
he's
the
black.
race.
And when what's the dad's name?
Matt.
Matt. And when Matt goes out, the dad, and he is at the ice cream place and he backs out of the spot and hits that black man's car. I mean, everyone cheers the black guy for, basically berating him for not paying attention. So then it's all young crowd. Like they don't care that he's a black guy. They care that somebody hit his car who wasn't paying
He's
attention.
right. Yeah.
He's right.
And he was eating that Oregon boysenberry.
Yeah. So he was just drunk on boysenberry.
Yeah.
So that scene kind of confused me because like I mean, like, I kind of understood the point of it a little bit, like them going out driving, because I felt like it was like, okay, well, this is shown that he's a real person. He's not just this set of values that's been attributed to him. He like needs time to think, so he just wants to go out with his wife and take a drive and whatever. But then in the boysenberry scene, he's like just this real old, confused man.
Right,
like,
right.
So I don't know. I didn't quite get the point of that.
I think it shows he's human.
Yeah.
Like he's human. He's a character, but he's not a character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shows humanity that like he comes home, he's ready to golf, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, nice meeting you, Dr. John." Like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, he fucking knows it. He knows they're getting married." And he turns around, and then they do that boysenberry.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's dropping his ties, he's pulling out his sock drawer, he has holes in his sock. It shows like it's overexpressing that this man's human. Like any of this could happen to you.
Yeah.
And that's what it shows.
I thought it was really interesting. So the scene where he first comes into the movie is really interesting too, because he walks in and there's, and again, shows you he's not really racist, because he walks in, there's a black man with his wife and daughter like having lunch, and he's just like, he's like, who's this? Like, if it was anybody else, any white or black or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, this is Dr. John Prester." And they're like, "Oh, Doc, nice to meet you." And then he's like, "I gotta go." Like he didn't
like a father.
Yeah, like he didn't have any second thoughts like about that there was a black man in his house, But then, yeah, once it was more personal and it was about his daughter too, that's when he got sort of like weird about it.
Yeah, and you keep saying racist. I don't think it's about racism. I think it's if there's a word for it, it's like I'm okay with everything as long as it doesn't happen to me. It's hypocrisy.
Yeah, well, it's sort of about like society.
Yeah.
I guess the societal racism is what he's more worried about. But yeah, I don't know. The whole Audrey Hepburn's character just annoyed the fuck out of me. So I guess she's a good actress, because I found her character annoying.
I really liked I liked her character.
So
she came out
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah.
And then like she realized like her daughter was happy. And then she goes, "Well, if that's what makes her happy, like I don't care who it is." And then like her like gallery manager comes over.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, hey guys." And then like she walks her out. She's like, "You didn't have to come over." She's like, "Look, write a check to cash to yourself for $5,000.
Yeah.
Get out of there." Yeah, like she fires her. Like she's like, "I don't want you in my life. Like if you don't approve of my daughter, I don't want you in my life."
But I thought that was supposed to be this big triumphant scene, but it kind of wasn't. Like the first time I watched it, I didn't watch the whole movie twice, but I watched parts twice. The first time I watched it, I thought it was cool. But then when I watched it again, I didn't really think it was set up well. Like, I mean, they do take a little effort, because we see that woman when they first go to the gallery. You can tell the woman's like a little snooty and a little weird,
Right.
But it's not. But they don't show that there's some big conflict. So then when she shows up at the house, Audrey Hepburn's character is like immediately annoyed with her, and she knows she's being nosy, but like just her being nosy is enough to get her fired. Like,
Well, she knows she's being. They know her.
yeah,
She's a real. Even the daughter says like she could be a real bitch. Like
Yeah.
they know her. But here's the thing. You got to break it down this way. They go to the gallery with Joanna.
yeah,
She tells, just not knowing the plot. You're the gallery owner. She tells a doctor about the art. Well, it's a doctor.
Yeah.
Introduced doctor. This doctor's a customer. I'm gonna be nice, snooty, and everything. And then she goes the thing. She shows her true. You know what I mean? Like she shows her true self.
I don't know. I just didn't think that scene was set up well enough. Like there wasn't. I just thought it was a resolution to like a plot point that never really existed. Is how I kind of felt
Well,
like.
I understand what you're saying, but I think it's a movie that takes place in 6 hours.
Yeah.
That should take 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, like you get the initial shock, you get them falling in love, you get the feedback from like all the other people.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a you mind if I mention like the dad? Like the mom's like, if she's happy, and the dad's like, yeah, I know she's happy and I don't want anything against it, but like like I said before, he cared about like their kids and their relationship and them getting beat up and them getting ostracized. Like he cared about the ramifications. No one else cared about the ramifications. And at the end, he's like, look, if they're gonna get hurt from this, it's not gonna be because of me. So it's basically like, look, I understand the ramifications, but like I'm not gonna hurt you, because there's plenty of people out there that will.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, I agree with the dad though. I think Joanna and her mom are fucking dopes. Like,
they are.
Like so like John's mom.
The dad was awesome throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, but like so because I mean I think I agree with this point. Like so Joanna's mom was I think like this like, you know, head in the clouds like. She, I mean, you know, considered the problems for like a minute, and then she's like, "Oh, you're happy. Oh, that's great. Oh, did you guys do it? Like, how big is this D? Like, I mean, that's basically like the conversation. That's like where she went with everything, versus like, you know, John's mom. You know, like I felt like thought more deeply about the relationship. You know, because her speech to Joanna's dad was basically like, well, you know, don't you remember having the passion that they had, you know, which is a much more powerful speech than just like, well, they're, you know, like, oh, well, they met 10 days ago. They're in love. It's fucking awesome. Like she, I thought, broke it down into a more fundamental level and really you know, like her speech was like pretty powerful. But I also thought was in the end kind of dumb because like, you know, everyone has powerful emotions when they first start dating. You know, that's why, you know, I mean, if everyone got married in the first 3 months of dating, everybody would get fucking divorced. Like, it would be way higher than 50% or like whatever the rate is now. You know, so the whole plot contrivance of, oh, we need a decision today. Like, I don't know. I feel like that took me out of the movie a little bit. Like if it was just like, okay, we've been dating for months and then they go to dinner and then it's the big scene of the dinner. Like, I don't understand the plot contrivance of we met 10 days ago. You have to make a decision today. Like, how did that add to the story?
Right. I could see like, you're right. I didn't like the 10-day thing. 6 months, maybe. Mm-hmm. You know, like they could have, like we went on vacation. Like you were helping, we're helping in Africa. Like you were volunteering and you came back early. Like mom will be back in 8 months. You know what I mean? And you met him in Africa while he was helping. They mentioned it 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
That could have just been it. Oh, you know, we met in Africa. Like I was helping teach. He was doctoring. You know, we fell in love. It's, you know, we've known each other, you know, for 8 months. We've been dating for 6 months. Like I love him. Like it's great.
Instead of
like,
in Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. But like, I think that would have brought me back into the movie too.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was great, and I think all the speeches, like I think it's a better movie in 1967.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's so many relevant issues that are today. Like I grew up hearing that same rhetoric the dad had.
Yeah. Well, I feel like some of the star power in the movie was more than like I don't think anyone, like, except for real movie aficionados, like probably who would listen to this podcast, like would be that concerned with Audrey Hepburn today. You know, Sidney Poitier, I feel like most people would know, but again, like
he made movies up until a few years ago.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen a bad Sidney Poitier movie.
But yeah, I don't know.
Did you ever look up the picture of the director?
No.
He's a hunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to see this. I'll bring it up. Yeah. But so overall, did you like the movie?
I did like it overall. I think the best parts, like, so the last maybe half hour, 45 minutes, I really wanted to know what happened. So the movie definitely drew me in. The last, like, again, like half hour, 45 minutes, I thought were really great when when you had sort of all the different, moving parts together, when everyone was at the house and you sort of paired off like, pair to pair and had all the different conversation, all the different point of views.
Yeah, it was
that was
very
really well
good.
done, led into each other really well. Oh, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah, he's a hunk. Look at that chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he really focused on 2 movies with Sidney Poitier about race. Like I think this white man here kind of like got it on the like. Once again, like we keep saying, like we don't understand like the race aspect of it, but like him directing Sidney Poitier, like like trying not to hurt her feelings, like saying you don't understand.
Yeah.
Without saying you don't understand, like he didn't want to insult her, but like you don't understand, like I love you, but you don't get it. Like I'm a black man marrying a white woman.
But you didn't find like a little sleazy, like essentially him negotiating with her dad.
Oh, it was definitely sleazy.
Just like I mean, like they really painted her, and they say a couple points like, oh, she's 23, but they really painted her as a child. Like she was so naive. She had no idea how the world worked.
I'm shaking my head and agreeing.
She, and then that scene where it's like where like John goes to the dad and it's like, oh, like we're adult males. Like she's a child, so I didn't tell her this.
Yeah.
But like if you don't approve, like all that really matters is what me and you think. It doesn't really matter what the girl
he doesn't
thinks in any
respect
way.
her at all.
Yeah.
Like, and you see her do a lot of like childish things too.
Yeah.
Like you see it. Like she did things like Allison would do. Like she lays on her bed giggling with like 3 hats on.
Yeah.
Like that's a very childish thing to do. Like I'm packing, but I'm gonna joke around the whole time. Or like she's like she's very demanding of Tilly. Like Tilly, we need more steaks. Well, I already ordered the steaks. Okay, we need more steaks.
Yeah.
Or like Tilly, we need another pie. Like talk to her like a human being, please.
And there was actually a good scene where the mother, there's one scene with the mother and Tilly where Tilly like really sets the table, and you can tell the mother has like a lot of respect for Tilly in that scene, and just like oh thanks, that's great, and like you can tell they have an adult, mutual respect relationship, versus Joanna is just such a child. So again, like it's hard. I mean, I know the point is supposed to be about the race issue, but like. There's just so many other issues in play, and I guess that's part of why it's a good movie. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would love to do like 4 different 20-minute segments about this movie, analyzing it from different like perspectives. Like I said, like from the race, the age, the political, agenda thing. I don't know. Yeah, I think Audrey Hepburn's character reminded me of. This is a really specific example that applies only to me, so I'll try to explain it. But so I used to go to a lot more sporting events, and I think this annoyed me mostly at hockey games. So I'd go to Flyers games. It's a little more affluent crowd going to a hockey game, and so this was like probably late George Bush, early Obama era, like when the country was a little more patriotic than it is now. And they would do a thing at every Flyers game. They would stop at one of the it wasn't an intermission. It was like during one of the stoppages in play. They would stop for like a minute, and they would introduce some member of the armed forces that they were highlighting.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So they would do that, and in theory, awesome. Great. I mean, obviously those guys do really important work. They, a lot of them do risk their lives. Like it's great to honor them and stuff. But in my head, it would just always happen. There'd be some, like Audrey Hepburn's character in this movie would be sitting in front of me. Some just like old white lady who I just felt like, to me, just wanted to stand up and be like, oh, look at me, everyone. I'm clapping for the armed forces. Look at me. I love the armed forces. Like, just like so fucking fake. Like, I don't know. And that's, I mean, I haven't said it on the movie podcast, but I always used to say this. This is why Trump's president, because of people like that. That like.
There's a movie podcast. Yeah, don't listen. I'm going to edit that out.
But, like those people, like I hope people listening know what I'm talking about. Like, the people like the dad in this movie. That's like, a crusader for the liberal agenda until like it really comes down and hits home, and then he's just like everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Reverse Crusader.
Yeah.
It's just like Ronald Reagan's. Did I say his name right? Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
His wife.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. She was like firmly against LGBT.
Mm.
And then her daughter came out. She firmly supported LGBT. So it's like the opposite. It's like, oh, I'm against it.
Yeah.
Until it happens to me. And then like you're like, that's fucking like
Yeah.
you're come on.
Well, no, I think for her, hopefully she had a realization, like, because maybe she just didn't understand the issue, or didn't ever give time to think about, alternate sexual preferences,
Right.
Besides like, heterosexuality. And then once her daughter, was attracted to women, and then she realized, oh wait, there's nothing that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with this. So maybe in her case, she just evolved.
Well,
And that's kind of what the dad does in this movie.
Yeah.
Is he has?
I don't think he ever evolves.
See, I think he's taken back, and then I think he really thinks about it, and he's like, oh no, there's nothing wrong with this. Why was I upset about it?
I don't think he
Yeah.
ever thought there was anything wrong with it. He's afraid of the ramifications of what's going to happen. And he mentions that several times.
See, I don't know. See, I think that's fake too, because there's no way in his head, like when he makes that turn in the first scene, there's no way that in his head, the first thing he goes to is, oh wow, their kids will have problems. I mean, there's no way that was his gut reaction.
No, I don't think that was
I think his gut reaction is he didn't want his white daughter to marry a black man.
Right.
I think that was his gut reaction.
That's why he keeps saying, I need more time to think about this. Because like his gut, you're right.
Yeah.
His gut reaction
But then
is
he's a fucking phony, like most liberals, and because of that, he then he makes up this whole story, which is true. I'm sure he thinks this as well. But that my only problem with it is that well, what about the kids?
and I don't think he evolves. He basically explains like, he's like, look, you guys are going to get hurt, but I accept your marriage because I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
So basically, he's like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm not going to be the one. But he really is the only like logical person here. Where
Yeah.
like Dr. John is like,
Oh, he is. I think all the men in the story are logical. Honestly,
yeah. And the
I don't
dad,
know.
Dr. John's dad is like I don't get it. But
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter what he says. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He has to get the approval of the white dad.
Yeah.
So Dr. John's like, Dr. John, I think's like too logical and too about it. He's like, look, if you guys don't say yes, like I'm not gonna do
Right,
it.
where it's weird and creepy.
Yeah,
Like, if you
yeah.
guys don't say yes, I'll just find another 23-year-old.
Yeah.
I'll just find another girl that's
Where
14 years
where
younger
the
than
dad's
me.
like, I think he's like, it's kind of a dick move
Yeah.
for you to be like, look, you have 10 minutes to figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
like what would you do if Allison brought a black guy home?
I mean, if she said she was marrying him next week, I'd kill them both. Like, I mean, if it was just a guy and he was a nice guy, I wouldn't care.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's a little different because she so far has grown up in South Philly. Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we did this movie the best justice. I think if we cover this a few weeks from now when we have a little more movie ideas in our head.
I think we did fine. I think
We did fine.
Yeah, I think
just
you're too worried about being perfect.
I am.
I think
I am.
I'm worried
wish
about enjoying and having a good time.
I did. We had a good conversation. I don't know. I really think there was some serious like movie like criticism theory stuff you could have delved into with this movie. And
I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm the kind of person that I wish I knew that, and I just don't yet. And honestly, when I was peeing right before this, that was a thought in my head, like, oh, I should have looked up a specific like way to analyze this movie to like bring to this, but I thought about it like right before the podcast. I don't know. I thought I had a lot more coherent argument for Yankee Doodle Dandy, which is as weird as it is, since that's a lot more light movie.
I think it's
You know?
because you're
I
so
don't know.
afraid of I think it's because you're so afraid of race thing. You don't want to say the wrong thing.
No, I think I was pretty open and said what I
Yeah.
wanted because, like I said, I mean, it does, and we talked before, it does scare you to talk about certain topics because, you could say one wrong thing, not meaning it even how you meant it, or, you know, and it could really come back to get you. But I mean, I don't really have any racist thoughts, so I wasn't that concerned about it, you know.
Well,
So
Rachel and I were talking about it,
yeah,
and we were like super excited for Joanna
yeah,
because she met like a really well-educated man.
yeah,
So, you know, that's like you talk about the generation thing. Like,
Yeah.
we saw it as her meaning like if I was a woman,
Mm.
I'd pick Dr. John. Like, he's like well educated, like he's
Yeah.
respected in his field, he's smart, he has a good job, and I'm like, I want my kids to be raised by this man.
But I really don't think the relationship's going to work because
It's absolutely not.
because of just the difference in. I mean, I think it's really hard because she is not going to understand him at all. Because I mean, he was married and had a kid, and his wife and kid died in an accident. Like, she can't comprehend that,
Right.
and that's a major part of his life and personality. And there's just so you just can't get past that. Like,
They're definitely two separate people.
but like not even that. Like, they're not even like they're so fundamentally different just because of that one fact about him. That no matter what else, like it's irreconcilable. Like, I don't think you can understand that, and that's part of why I think people that go through tragedies like that,
Meet other
Like,
people that go through
other
tragedy.
other people that go through tragedies are never the same because you're not going to find anyone that has the same scenario. Like for me, like I always had the thought that, you know, as sort of, you know, tragic as my last relationship was, like how it ended and everything. I mean, you know, for my and all the problems, you know, just logistically and emotionally and stuff it's given me in life since then, I think it's put me in a position where I can be in the relationship I'm in now, because like I couldn't imagine dating someone that has a kid if you didn't also have a kid, because how could you possibly understand like how they feel about their kid, like how they deal with the person they had that kid with, whether it's a good or bad relationship. Like, you just have no framework to deal with it. So like the fact that like I have a kid, Kelly has a kid, we raise them together, like we understand each other and we understand like what we're going through, you know, on each side of like every issue, you know, versus like Joanna and John. I mean, she just has no fucking idea. So either she could be jealous that he had this past relationship, even though he would still be in that relationship if they didn't die. She could be totally oblivious and like sugarcoat it all and be like, oh, that's so, you know, sad that you had this, which I mean, I think would piss most people off. Like, you don't even fucking understand. Like, don't fucking
Right.
talk about them. Like,
Right.
you have
Like-
no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Like, my dad died 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of days ago, 5 years
Yeah.
ago, the 11th. And so like Rachel tried, like I wasn't in a good mood. Like, we went out to dinner with her parents. Like,
Yeah.
do things about this. Is like, she's like, oh, what can I do for you? Like, literally nothing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you try to like be like nice about it, but like, and then, God forbid, like her dad died. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just go up to her there and be like, been there, done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you still have to console it.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you had a wife and child, right?
Yeah.
That you actually loved and
Yeah.
everything, like you had a really good relationship, not
Yeah.
one that was on the rocks or whatever, and they died in an accident, you're heartbroken, you have a wedding ring. Would you continue to wear your wedding ring?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
For a while, yeah, but I don't know at what point I would not. I assume at some point I would stop.
So I saw a thing, like, I mean, if you guys were true, like really still like in love, like you were heartbroken.
Yeah.
But like eventually, you know, you'd have to move on to like actually live like a
Yeah.
half decent life. Like, you had a wife and child, and you know, you're still in love, not like on the rocks for divorce
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, it's a perfect.
Yeah.
Like, would you get a tattoo of a wedding ring on your finger?
I don't think so. I think
No.
I think hand tattoos are stupid.
No, I mean, you know, like just a little ring, like a little line
Nah.
around it. No,
I don't think so.
no, like it's almost not visible, just like so
Yeah.
you could put like another ring on there.
Yeah.
I've heard guys that have done that, like two guys,
I
like-
wouldn't know. It would really depend on the situation. I mean, it really would depend on how life went after that. I mean, obviously for probably a long time you would, but yeah, I think just natural human condition would be, you know, you'd want to feel those same feelings with somebody else eventually. And then, it's not fair then to the new person to live in the past. Like you wouldn't ever want to forget or, disrespect, the people in your past, but it's not fair to live there. You can't live in the past.
Well, if you're
So-
still living in the past, you shouldn't go after someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still live in the past a little bit, but like May 23rd is like a bad day for me.
Yeah.
And, I'm going away, but like the other 364 days, you should be present in their life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's sort of the, you sort of, in that scenario, I feel like if you met somebody else who was like a really good person and stuff, I feel like you would honor your past relationship by, being fully committed to this relationship, and, showing the same love and respect for, whoever the new person is that you showed to your, wife that died. So,
So overall, other than the first 10 minutes when I have to meet, and Joanna, other than
Yeah.
Joanna,
yeah. It's a good
I think the movie is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the main part of the movie, other than her,
Yeah.
I thought the movie was really good.
We should do a little plot synopsis next week. That's
yeah.
what we should start doing.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I did the plot synopsis previous episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna learn how to do this. Like,
Yeah.
we should probably start breaking it down scene by scene.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out. But
What's next week?
I should probably bring it up real quick.
Oh, here we'll see who can find it first.
Okay. But
Oh man, I don't have it.
AFIs.
But it has to be the right list. I'm trying to go back on our text messages.
Yeah. So I just think it was I think it was
That's
a really
true.
good movie, and it.
Here we go. I got the link.
Okay. What is it? What's next week?
It's loading. My phone's a little slow. All right, so we had 100 was Yankee Doodle Dandy. 99, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Next week is from 1992, Unforgiven.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, Unforgiven's a great movie.
never saw it.
Oh, it's really good. It's a movie in the 90s. It's probably even cheaper to rent. You probably get it for free.
Let's see. Here, wait. I'll let you guys know right now how much it is.
I checked the library for the movie, so it was out. Someone rented this movie.
What?
Yeah, from the Riverton Branch Library.
Let's see. I just knocked out my headphone. But, dude, Unforgiven, $3.99. God damn it. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris. Okay,
Yeah,
that'll be a good movie.
it is a really good movie.
I'm just gonna listen to the Metallica song, call it a day.
No, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys keep listening. We're gonna get better as we do it. Don't worry about Kevin trying to be better, and
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
he worries too much. But thanks for listening to this week's Whole Week Costa. See you next week for Unforgiven.
Unforgiven 2.
Oh, it didn't stop. Bonus pod.
Bonus pod.